This is our next project. It's an Ansonia clock movement that had a Royal Bonn porcelain case on it, made in Germany in about 1915. The clock has apparently stopped working, so we need to find out what the problem is. It's a problem with the hammer for sure. Look how tight that is. No movement at all in the hammer, so it's a problem with that. See if we can get the count lever to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dropped into a deep slot. That looks like that might be working. It's also freed up the hammer. The reason I'm looking at this movement is our next project. I want to do a lesson on the lift lever. A lot of people have problems with that. I don't know why. It seems pretty simple, but I'll run through it again. We've had a look at the J-hook, how that works, how that operates. In the next lesson we're going to have a look and see. Now that suspension spring's alright. It looks like it might be twisted, but it's alright. We're going to have a look and see how the lift lever works. It's obviously running around alright there and dropping into a deep hole which stops it. Good. Alright. I was going to do a sessions. I was going to work on a sessions. Actually, we'll take that out first. I was going to work on a sessions banjo clock I've got that I haven't done any work on yet, but I've decided to do this because it means I can do one of the new clock repair videos on the movement. I'll take the suspension spring out first. That looks like it might be in trouble if we're not careful. There's a very small tapered pin up here that I'll remove, put it in a dish, and then we'll be able to slide the suspension spring out without damaging it, and then take the bottom of the pendulum rod off. That's where the pendulum bob hangs on there. We'll take that out, put it aside. It's got a little bit of a dent on. I think it's probably alright. We'll check it before we put it back in anyway. So having removed that, we can't do any damage to that. What we're going to do now is we're going to tighten up the mainsprings, put a mainspring clamp on them, use a let-down tool and wind up the springs a bit, put a clamp on them and then let them down so that the power of the spring is contained. I'll have a look and see how big these springs are initially in relation to getting a... We'll give both the springs a couple of turns, wind them up a little bit. We're using a number 6 let-down tool here. It's the usual size, but not always, but it's a number 6. It's always a good plan to try that one first. Now we can have a look at the back and see if we can slide these. Nope, still a bit tight. No, that one's getting there. That one's alright. Virtually we've got, oh no, it's caught up on the lug down there. See how that works. Okay. The going side train is okay, is alright. We've got a mainspring clamp on that. I'll have a look and see where the ratchet is. There it is down there. Right, put the let down tool on, take a little bit of pressure on it, lift it up a little bit, put a screwdriver in under the click, hold it out, and let the let down tool run around a little bit in your hand, because we want to put that mainspring clamp right in the center of the spring. We don't want it off to one side. So we'll have let it down a little bit more. Pretty dark in there, but we are actually getting somewhere, I think. Right, we'll try that. Not quite yet. This is the way you do it. It might seem pretty boring and everything else, but it's actually the way that it's done. It can't be rushed. So hold the click back, let the let down tool wind a little bit more, and I think we must be getting pretty close. Yep, that's held in the center there now. It won't slide up and down. So now we'll let the spring all the way down, and all its power will be contained in the mainspring clamp. There we go, that one's done. Now we've got to see the going side train how much distance we've got to get under there so it doesn't get caught up in the hammer. That's alright, that's a long way to go. So we'll just turn that over, and there's the ratchet down in there. Not easy to get at, but a little bit of positive pressure on the let down tool. Lean on the movement to hold it in place so it doesn't move. Then pull the click back. That isn't easy to get at. Let that ride down. You better check that. Oh, that's over the top of the... There's a pin there. The spring breaks and explodes. It doesn't destroy all the wheels above it. And that's what the mainspring clamp was getting caught in. All right, back we go again. Pull the click out. I wonder if I've got something that doesn't take up quite as much room. That's better. All right. Whoop, hold it. Nope, still loose. Bit more. I'm using a dentist probe at the moment. There's not much room there, and it allows me to get a better grip. Oh, that's feeling better. To get a better grip on the click. You'll see that that's holding in the center now. So we can now completely let down that spring. A little bit of positive pressure on the let down tool and let it run round your hand. Then remove it. Turn the movement over. Have a look, and they're now both contain both the springs. All right. So the next trick is we're going to take the movement apart. Now to do that, we're going to require a little spanner. And see what sizes we've got in relation to, what do you know, number 7, first up. Very clever. Right, I'll loosen these 4 nuts off a little bit, and the 4th one, and just move the plates a little bit apart and see if there's any movement in there or not. Seems to be all right. I'll take those nuts off the pillars. Third one and the fourth one. And then very carefully lift up the plates. There may be a little bit of tension left in there, and I think there might be a tiny bit, so we'll be a bit careful. We don't want any broken wheels. The maintenance cam to come out. That's that piece there. They're the two holes that lever there on the lift lever falls into when the clock stops striking. We'll talk more about that later on.